Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guest and organizer, I'm very glad that I'm here. Last year, this conference was for me really great experience, and I'm so glad that this year it's even better and improving. So I'm looking forward for the next year, and of course to the things that the guys who are organized this will done in the meantime. I'm here to give you some look on my experience as an investor in Serbia in different areas. So I'm born in 1971. I'm finished Faculty of Economics here in Belgrade, and my background is finance, financial markets. I started working in 1996 as a stockbroker in that time the biggest brokerage company in Serbia. It's called M&V Investments. Owner of that company is Rakocevic, Kola, famous businessman. But also during the time I have opportunity to learn from him. And after a few years, when I realized that the things are going closer, that I need to start something for myself, I realized that I learned from the best possible employer. So actually I'm here to give you my story, which is a story which is actually the startup that I start in the year 2000. And after the second part of my business life is where I'm actually acting as an investor. So in the year 2000, I decided that it's time to start my own brokerage company. I give it the name Senzal, which used to be a name for the stockbrokers in the Kingdom of Yugoslavia before Second World War. At that time, Serbia and stock market, Belgrade Stock Exchange actually was very developed, and the name for the brokers was Senzals. And I use it, that simple name. Nobody was familiar with that. Some say it's Senzal. I said, no, we are not that kind of house. We are a brokerage house. So that was this. But I just continue to use that name, and I'm really proud that I do that. And when somebody say that the name is important, I think it is. But I started a company with 5,000 German mark. That was my initial investment. So probably something that now startups are looking for as a beginning. I have, of course, different position because I have 4 years of experience working as a deputy in the biggest brokerage company, have experience with several of the biggest Serbian companies, and I have experience how to work with the clients. And I started companies with 3 employees. Of course, as I'm from Montenegro, one of them was my cousin. Second was my friend from the faculty, so that was the story. But after that, I became smarter, and I take a lot of students from the Faculty of Organizational Science on a praxis. So I have 5, 6 of them at the same time doing things, and almost all of my company, when I sold it eventually, was from the Faculty of Organizational Science. I took him as a finished on the last year of the faculty. And I started a company. I was a single owner, 5,000 German mark. I actually borrow from my best man. Even I have them in a deposit, safe deposit. I have this 5,000, so if I go bankrupt, I can give him money back. And of course, I was totally afraid what will happen, but I have a vision. I have a vision to become #1 broker in Serbia, but not only in a term of turnover or of money, profit I will make. It was the idea to offer a service which will be on Western standard, and it will be adjusted to the Serbian circumstances and the business approach. So it was difficult, but all the time I was focused to how this, because probably not many of you are familiar with the stock markets, but I followed how the stock companies and stock brokers in other countries like Slovenia and Hungary, how they are doing, what they are providing to the clients, how they are approaching to them. I even lose some of my money because I open account in some Hungarian stockbroker, and I have problem because it was interesting. Just one of them speak English, so I was catched once that I give orders on German, like okay, kauf. It was difficult, and I lose money on this stock exchange. But that was great experience. And then I was dedicated for several things that was important to have in my company. It was the quality of the services that was most important. I was a guy without some big connections, and as it was always important in Serbia, it's always everywhere important. So how can I get any client to come to work with me? That was first problem. Then I decided that I need to have a very high level of quality of services that I'm providing. That was always my priority. How fast we will execute the orders, how fast we will answer on the questions, that was second thing that was most important. And very soon that makes a difference, because when it comes to the money, who will make you money is the only thing important. So there was the other brokerage companies. In some moment there was more than 120 brokerage companies in Serbia, and we were number one for 2 years in a row. We have turnover of, in 2 years, more than 200 million euros in 1 year of security that was traded through our company. And in these 7 years that the Senzal actually exists, total turnover was worth more 1 billion euros. That was the time when the stock market was booming, everything was so developed and growing, so it wasn't, these numbers are now look, even for myself, look crazy. But in that time, that was really serious market. All things that I mentioned, just like briefly about the employees who I choose, that was very interesting. I choose the students, and I try to put them in a system that I made. It caused a lot of work and a lot of patience, and you know, some of them never know how to send a fax, or you know, to do some things which looks for me like normal, but for them that was difficult at the beginning. But very soon they made I made them great experts for this market. And what's happened when I continued that growth, I was working like hell, 24 hours daily. When I was walking through the street, I was looking who can be my client. I was obsessed, completely obsessed. And that was the period of time that actually I have a problem with my eyes, probably because of that stress. I have some surgery. This is all I actually gives you, what is my experience. So some of the things will be, let's say, very personal. And that was all the issues that I have. Then when I have problem with my eyes, I have that surgery, then I realized that I need to build not only the execution person, I need to have a management. I need to have people who can work together with me on and make some decisions. And that's when I start finding and using from that group of the students to see who of them is smart enough that can take more responsibility and who can actually lead the team. And that was actually, I think, even the crucial moment in my company and my business career, when I find the girl who actually was the broker. She became like a lead broker, and then she became my deputy. Then I have time to do some other things. Just to mention, when in these 7 years till 2007, we were the brokers from several companies like Philip Morris, when they bought tobacco industry from Niš, for Carlsberg. We were broker from Henkel. We were in a privatization of Kniaz Miloš and C Market, but we were on the good side, on the side of shareholders, not of these tycoons. And also, when I told you that I didn't have any support, and you are in a cage with 120 brokers, when all the tycoons have their own brokerage companies, and everybody has somebody who need to give him a favor or something like that, how I succeed to be 2 years in a row number one, then next 2 years to be a second stockbroker in Serbia. I find a niche, which was, as I told you, the quality of execution, the services that I provide was the best you can find in Serbia. And when, for example, my company, we were the first stockbroker that has a charts of the stock prices. When you think about stock exchange, even you that you're not so familiar, first what you saw is a picture of the prices going up. In that time, in 2003, nobody has that. Even stock exchange They didn't have a charts of the stocks. We were the first company who provide that, and that gives for us the great perspective. I was always ready to answer for the questions of the journalist, always be ready to say what I'm thinking, that was also a very smart move, because that gives me a credibility that when people saw you in the newspapers, then they think that you are smart. That was my catch that I use. So no matter if I have something to say, was it smart or important for me, I always was there, and always my name somewhere. I said, okay, look this guy again. That also was some kind of protection for myself. But even during this period of privatization in Serbia, as I told you that I was independent broker, that caused that actually I was 2 times suspended. Once I was for 2 months, and second time I was for 4 months. That was the story that are not for this big audience, maybe in some restaurant. And then it's a story that I'm very proud on these suspensions, because that was the reason that I wasn't ready to accept any blackmails or something like that. I do my job, so that was the story. So actually, when I look back on that period, that was extremely excited period with a lot of turbulences, a lot of challenges in front of me. But as I told you, that the things when I decided to build up my management team, to have persons that I can count on, that was the breaking point. 2006, when I was still the general manager, I get an offer from Erste Bank to buy my company. And we negotiate, and I was so happy. Great, they want to buy. Come, okay, I'm ready to do it. We were actually, I think, very close to shake hand, something like that. And it was amount of couple of million euros. Crazy. That was for me like a miracle. Then they didn't answer. They didn't call me. Said, okay, what can I do? Life goes on. And then after the 2 months, I decided to open a brokerage companies in Bosnia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. And to the girl that was my deputy, I gave the authorities that she will become actually lead as a general manager. I started brokerage companies in these 3 countries. In February 2007, we have 4 countries, and at that time, the phone rings. KBC Bank was looking for the stockbroker to represent them to buy a Serbian bank, Alko Banka. And we have a meeting. They give me their prospectus, and they have the brokerage companies in Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. And they have it on the table. I put mine over, said, look how it suits perfectly. And then we talk about the other things. And 7 days later, they come back, are you interested to sell the company? I said, okay, I'm always open to talk. 2 months later, I get the offer, I reject. It was double the offer of Erste Bank. And then after 15 days of more negotiation, I get excellent price, which was completely crazy, but that was the crazy period. Sold my company 100%, and actually, since October 2007, I was finished with my brokerage career. That was one of the moments that I think that will be fantastic, that I'm the king of the world. It's strange. It's not maybe, again, the right moment to talk about that experience, but it was strange, you know, when you are addicted to the phone calls, to work crazy, and then nobody calls you anymore. You are not importer. Who you are? Ex-broker. Sounds really stupid, you know, for someone who has 35, 6 years, like, to be ex. Doesn't sound good. And after that, I decided that I maybe do something that I like most, to invest, to make decision about investment. That's why I like in stock market. You can't blame anybody. It's you and the market. You and the millions of people who want to make money. So, you are there alone. Think twice. Leave. Don't do anything. Wait, and then, if you decided, go follow. So many things. But I like that. I play basketball. I never, you know, in the last moments or when the last ball, I was always looking for, give me the ball. It wasn't always successful, but I go for a ball. That was always. After that, start looking for other investments. So from the position of the startup, who started year 2000, and then grow it to the 40 employees, to 1 billion euros turnover in the 7 years, and 4 countries, then I became in a position to look for investment and to try to see what is on the market, what are the things that I'm looking for, what is that I can invest. And now, 6 years later, I have several investments. I will go through them simply. One of them is an internet company. They are making software for internet, and they have 17 employees. It's called Inbox, doing a lot of websites, and now we are doing something for the tax authorities in Serbia, some projects. Then there is a web media agency. It's I think now it's a leading internet marketing agency in Serbia, if you count it on the numbers of the likes of the pages that they are taking care. They told me that for me it's too much to explain that you are leading on something like that. But we have like 1.5 million likes on the websites that we are looking. For example, Jaffa Cakes, they choose us to be their agency. Now they have, I don't know how much, 200,000 maybe likes. I have a website also that was some version of Facebook. It's called lol.rs. It was the idea to connect people with their interest. So the people who doesn't know each other, but they have common interest, they choose things that they like skiing and some techno music and, I don't know, Dostoevsky. So they can find their match, even that they don't know each other. Investment that I'm very proud of is a Belgrade Beer Fest. Probably there are some of you that also like that. It's a really great event. It's the biggest event in Eastern Europe. More than 700,000 visitors for 5 days. Someone will say it's free, so it's normal that it's so many people. But still, the business model is great. Then there is some small restaurants called Pomodoro. I must do some advertising, sorry, because I'm not paid to be here, I must. And then the last one is Gym for Me. It's some like a gymnastic for the kids, preschool kids, when they are very young, age of 1, 2, 3. Kids of 3 years, they are practicing, teaching how to coordinations, how to grab the ball, their first step into sport. Those are my investments now. Besides, I have some real estate, some stock market investment also. When I was prepared to be here to say how I choose this company, there are so many companies, I have so many options, possibilities, even here in this conference, so much great things are offered. How to choose the right one is the crucial thing. And what is interesting, that good idea is not enough. It's not enough that you have a good idea because there may be somebody else who has the same idea, even better. Second is that I'm focused only on the services. I think that production, maybe it's of course it's important, it's the most important thing, but I'm focused on the services to find investment where offering something that you can always be better than other if you are in a service business. And the quality of your service is also crucial. And my investments, all of them are profitable. Some of them are better, some of them are not. And I was thinking, what was the mistake? What are the problems in those companies? In all of these companies, I'm not the biggest shareholder. I'm the one of shareholders. And it's very interesting to see how the companies which start as a single owner, or maybe 3 owners like in Beerfest, and now when they get someone who is from outside, who is not the father or mother of that idea and developed and working like I was working in Senzal, and when they put someone from outside inside, it's a strange relation. I must say, it's a process that need to be adjusted, because you have different questions. You ask them to report something that they never expect, they never do anything. If they need some money, they take it from the account, they do some cash, and that's how they made profit. Now I can there say, okay, give me the business, how much how is our balance sheets, what are reports, cash flow analysis, said, what is this? And it takes a lot of time to put that in line how it should be. Money that you invest is not so important. It's important the people who will manage it. When the company from the small one, again like Beer Fest or this Gym for Me for the kids, they have Gym for Me has one of their place, one center. Now there are 3. And when I entered there, I said, okay, I want to have it in every city in Serbia. And the partner said, how can we do it? We have 1 and that's enough. We can't have more than 1. And now it's a huge process when you must have a good team of new people who are entering. So when you have these startups and ideas, and now they are great ideas, the process that are coming after is so important. And when you invest money in those kind of projects, that will take your time. In the companies that I'm 10% owner. I don't think 10%. I think like I'm 100%. And that's always important, that when the startups are looking for the investor, to choose what kind of investor they are looking. Someone who can give them just money, or who can give them experience, time, knowledge. From my point of view, that's a crucial thing. And also, now when I'm looking for the new investments, and this kind of investment like are present here, I'm looking for the passion. When I explain to 3 or 4 my friends about the Gym for Me concept, and there are serious guys who have serious business here, I said, what is my plan with Gym for Me? We are sitting on tables, all of them stand up. They stand up and start talking, this should be, you should be this, you should be that, that's good. I just look at them and say, okay, I think that this idea is great. You know, to make people to stand up. I'm even now, with, let's say, money I have and experience I have, I'm still look for investment. I still look to sell some ideas. So I should be maybe on other room to present my ideas. And I didn't have time. Next time I will probably do that. That's the crucial, to have passion, to explain something, to convince the others that they should follow your dreams and to enjoy it. Because actually all of this is a game. You should enjoy that game. And you know, as I told you, this is the game in which if you don't enjoy during that, then you can't success.